If you skip this video, you might miss the one shift that could change your child's future. Because when it comes to raising a child with autism, like little Alex, even well-meaning parenting can go sideways fast if it's based on myths instead of science. This story unpacks 5 common mistakes many loving parents make, and more importantly, how small but informed changes can completely reshape your child's growth and peace at home. Expecting eye contact as proof of listening. You're sitting beside Alex in the living room. The TV is off, his toys are scattered, and you've just asked him what he wants for dinner. He doesn't respond. His eyes are locked on the spinning wheel of his toy truck, lost in a rhythm only he understands. You gently tap his shoulder and say, "Alex, look at me when I'm talking to you." He briefly flicks his eyes toward yours, then back to the truck. You wonder if he's ignoring you or simply doesn't care. This is a moment many parents know too well. In many cultures, eye contact equals respect. So when Alex doesn't offer it, it feels like a wall is going up. But for children on the spectrum, eye contact can be overwhelming. Research backed by the NIH shows that autistic children often process faces and voices through different neural pathways. Demanding eye contact can disrupt their focus, not increase it. By insisting on it, you may be closing the very door you're trying to open. Respecting alternative listening behaviors. So you stop reminding Alex to look you in the eyes and instead start paying attention to what he does when he's truly listening. Sometimes he taps his fingers softly when you talk. Other times he faces sideways but echoes your words back with surprising clarity. It's different, but it's communication. And that realization changes everything. You read about a 2017 NIH-funded study showing that many autistic children process verbal language more effectively when they're not forced into direct eye contact. Their brains may prioritize either visual input or auditory processing, but not both at the same time. What you thought was distraction was actually his way of coping, of staying present in a way that made sense to him. So you meet him where he is. You speak gently. You give him time. And without the pressure of, "Look at me," Alex begins to respond more. Not always with his eyes, but always with his heart. Interpreting meltdowns as bad behavior. It happens at the grocery store. Alex suddenly drops to the floor, hands over his ears, screaming and crying. You feel everyone's eyes on you. You kneel down and say his name sharply, trying to calm him. But inside, you're thinking, why is he acting like this? Why now? You tell him, "Stop it, you're being rude." He doesn't stop. Many parents see these episodes as tantrums or misbehavior. But for a child like Alex, this isn't about getting his way. It's a meltdown triggered by sensory overload. The humming fluorescent lights, the cartwheel squeaking, the jumbled voices over the speaker, it's too much for his nervous system. As according to the CDC and sensory processing research, many autistic children experience heightened sensitivity to sound, light, texture, and movement. What seems minor to you can feel unbearable to them. And when their brains can't filter it all, they crash hard. Misreading meltdowns as bad behavior only adds shame to Alex's distress. Understanding sensory processing challenges. You begin to notice patterns. The meltdowns often happen in bright, crowded places or when unexpected noises pop up. You stop seeing these moments as bad behavior and start asking, what's overwhelming Alex right now? That shift in thinking makes all the difference. You speak with a developmental pediatrician, and they explain what the CDC has long emphasized. Sensory processing differences are core features of autism. Some kids like Alex are hypersensitive to sound, others to light, textures, or even smells. His outbursts aren't about willpower. They're neurological responses to stress. So you adjust. You pack noise-canceling headphones for grocery trips. You limit errands to quieter times of day. You let Alex wear his favorite soft shirt instead of something stiff and formal. And slowly, the meltdowns decrease. He starts tolerating more places, more moments. Because when you protect Alex's sensory world, he learns that the world can feel safe again. Stopping stimming behaviors like hand flapping. You notice Alex flapping his hands when he's excited, watching ceiling fans spin, seeing bubbles float, or just while waiting for his favorite snack. You feel a pang of discomfort. What if other people think it's weird? You gently say, "Let's keep our hands still, okay?" You mean well. Each time you stop him, Alex grows quieter and tense. It's a situation many parents face. Repetitive movements like hand flapping, rocking, or spinning objects are known as stimming, and while they might seem odd to outsiders, they often serve a powerful purpose. For autistic children like Alex, stimming can regulate anxiety, express excitement, or help cope with overwhelming sensory input. Trying to suppress these behaviors, especially those that aren't harmful or disruptive to daily functioning, can leave a child feeling out of control. It sends the message that their natural coping mechanisms are wrong. What begins as a well-intentioned correction can lead to more anxiety, not less. And Alex deserves better than that. Allowing safe self-regulation behaviors. This time, you pause. Instead of stopping Alex's hand flapping, you just observe. He's watching the ceiling fan again, eyes wide with joy, fingers fluttering. You sit beside him, and after a moment, he glances your way with a soft smile. You smile back. No one is being corrected. No one is being shamed. You begin learning more. A peer-reviewed study from Autism Research Journal explains that stimming, short for self-stimulatory behavior, is not just common, but it's often essential for emotional regulation. The American Academy of Pediatrics confirms that unless these behaviors are harmful or disruptive to daily functioning, they should be respected. So you start focusing on safety, not suppression. You learn to distinguish between helpful stims and those that may signal distress. You even explain to grandparents and neighbors that this is Alex's way of staying calm. And slowly, Alex trusts you more because you've shown him that being himself is safe. Forcing early socialization in groups. It's Saturday afternoon and you bring Alex to a birthday party, hoping it'll help him get used to other kids. The room is buzzing, balloons, loud music, children everywhere. Within minutes, Alex retreats to a corner, covering his ears, visibly distressed. You gently nudge him toward the group, saying, "Go on, it's fun," but he bursts into tears. You were told socialization is crucial, and it is. But how it happens matters more than how soon it happens. For autistic children, large, unstructured groups can be overwhelming rather than helpful. The American Academy of Pediatrics emphasizes that social development in autistic children requires patience, structure, and most importantly, respect for individual readiness. By pushing too fast, too soon, you're not teaching Alex to socialize. You're teaching him to fear it. He starts to associate people with pressure and panic, and what was meant to help him fit in only pushes him further away. Building social skills gently and individually. You take a different approach this time. Instead of parties and chaos, you invite just one familiar neighbor child over for a quiet playdate. You set the room with calm lighting, predictable toys, and no pressure. At first, Alex stays in his own space, but then, slowly, He watches the other child stack blocks. Minutes pass. Then Alex adds a block of his own. It's a small moment, but a huge step. This gentle exposure aligns with the AAP's guidance on building social engagement at the child's pace. Research shows that one-on-one structured social interactions, especially with support, can improve communication and reduce anxiety in autistic children. By letting Alex set the tempo, you're not pulling him into the world too fast. You're letting him walk in on his own terms. And over time, you see more of these wins: shared smiles, parallel play, even simple conversations. Because now, socializing feels safe for both of you. Following advice from unverified sources online. One night, after a long day, you find yourself scrolling through parenting forums at 1 a.m. A post titled, "How I Cured My Child's Autism with Diet" grabs your attention. It promises quick results with gluten-free, casein-free plans, and dozens of comments rave about it. Desperate for something to help, you overhaul Alex's meals the next day, cutting out half his favorite foods. But instead of progress, you notice Alex becomes crankier, hungrier, more withdrawn. Meals become battles, and yet no real improvements follow. This story isn't rare. Many parents turn to the internet hoping for that one magic fix. But the CDC and American Academy of Pediatrics both caution against unverified autism cures or extreme interventions not grounded in clinical research. Diet may affect individual sensitivities, yes, but it's not a one-size-fits-all solution, especially when it comes from anonymous posts rather than professionals. In trying to help Alex, you accidentally added more stress on both of you. Following evidence-based interventions. This time, you decide to pause before trying the next trending tip. You book an appointment with a developmental pediatrician. You start reading materials from the CDC and consulting with a speech therapist certified in autism spectrum disorders. Instead of guessing, you begin following evidence-based interventions tailored to Alex's specific needs. What a shift! You learn that while dietary changes can help some children with confirmed sensitivities, there is no universal cure and no substitute for consistent, individualized care. Clinical guidelines highlight therapies like applied behavior analysis, ABA, occupational therapy, and structured teaching approaches as the most effective support for children with autism. These are backed by decades of research, not just anecdotes. With professional guidance, Alex starts making real progress. His irritability lessens, he begins communicating more on his own terms. And meals? They're no longer a battleground. By following real science, you've taken pressure off both your child and yourself. And that's what real care looks like. Parenting a child with autism is not a path you prepare for, it's one you learn to walk, step by step, often through trial, reflection, and an enormous amount of love. If you've recognized yourself in these moments with Alex, you're not alone. Many parents start with the best intentions, guided by what they were taught, what they read online, or what they believed was normal. But what you've done, pausing, learning, and adjusting, is parenting at its most powerful. It's not about being perfect, it's about being willing to grow with your child. Every shift you make, from understanding meltdowns to honoring stimming, tells Alex, you are safe with me, I see you, and I'll keep learning how to support you better. Science is on your side. So is the community of professionals, advocates, and fellow parents walking the same road. You don't have to change everything overnight, but every small, science-backed choice brings your child closer to a world where they can thrive. You're doing better than you think. Keep going.